Rajya.
Sir, while discussing the working of the Ministry of Law and Justice, I recall the profound words of Dr. Ambedkar. Dr. Ambedkar, much before we attained independence, had said that, I quote, sir, Law Minister should take note, law is the greatest disinfectant against inequality. This is Dr. Ambedkar. Sir, Dr. Ambedkar defined Indian society as society with graded social inequality. Dr. Ambedkar wanted law should be used as an instrument for empowering the individual in our society. But the continued oppression of scheduled castes, scheduled tribes, in spite of plethora of laws to protect them, is indicative of the failure of the state, failure of the government to use law as the greatest disinfectant against inequality as Ambedkar wanted. Sir, the government must be duty-bound to uphold the majesty of law against exploiting classes, exploiting forces in our society. This failure of the government to implement law for protection of weaker sections of our society is totally unacceptable. Sir, I would like to tell the House, some time back there was a judgment acquitting all those who belong to Ranveer Sena in Bihar, who were accused for the murder of more than 50 Dalits. They were murdered, it is a fact, nobody can hide it, but those accused have been acquitted. And who did that murder? Government is silent, law is silent, and some years back, Dalits were murdered in Sundur, Andhra Pradesh. Accused were all acquitted and nobody has been punished, but Dalits were killed. And what government is doing? What law is doing? This is what one should take note, sir. We discuss the Ministry of Law and Justice. These are bitter realities, harsh realities, and we will have to face these realities. In this regard, I think government should take note of certain other issues. One is, there are under trials, thousands of under trials. Mostly they are all scheduled caste people, scheduled tribe people, and also Muslims. No charge sheet, no trial, but they are under trials. They are in prison, and our law is silent, and government is silent. How the law ministry? This is the time the Ministry of Law and Justice must play a proactive role, and it is not doing that. That is what I am trying to say. Sir, many issues have been raised, and again I quote Dr. Ambedkar. Dr. Ambedkar said, law has to be in tune with the evolving society and culture. Law should be in tune with the evolving society and culture. Sir, I recall the Bar Association of India sometime back adopted a resolution that the climate change and global warming constituted a grave threat to life. In an era when we face natural disasters, which have become so frequent and so recurrent due to global warming and climate change, we need to have law and jurisprudence which would be consistent with the realities of life. This is one part. The other part, I am asking the law minister, there are demands from different states. After all, India is a diverse country where we have languages, different cultures, and our languages we should be proud, and they are all developed modern languages and developing modern languages. And as my colleague asked, Tamil Nadu is demanding that Tamil should be used as a court language in High Court of Tamil Nadu, in High Court in Tamil Nadu and courts in Tamil Nadu. Why can't we take a decision? And Parliament is supreme, and Parliament can frame rules, frame laws, enact legislations. We can do it. Why? Why this delay? How long we can delay it? This is what we should look at, the law, how law should evolve. Then, sir, there are demands, and my colleague said the High Court bench in Kerala, it is High Court there in Cochin, but bench should be there in Thiruvananthapuram. They are asking, why not to accept it? What is the delay? Why this delay?
Why you want Thiruvananthapuram? You want to conduct case there?
Sir, it is not that I am going to contest, sir. My party contests, that is a different thing. But I am talking about people of Kerala. They want an High Court bench to be in Thiruvananthapuram. And what is the difficulty in deciding on that? And in the same way, there is a demand that Supreme Court bench can be situated in South. And there is a demand it should be in Chennai. We can take a decision. In East also. Now I find there is a demand, it can be in East. So India is a diverse country, and there are demands, and these demands are reasonable, and laws to evolve according to the requirements and according to the realities of our time. Sir, coming to other issues, now corruption is the most burning issue in our society, in our country. But how we are having the law to fight corruption? Sir, I am not going into details, but with liberalization of economy, the corporate sector assumed the commanding heights of our economy, and corruption is mounting. Once we talked about public sector having commanding heights, now it is corporate sector. You are allowing corporate sector to have the commanding heights of our economy, but corruption is mounting. And I quote, sir, the fourth report of Second Administrative Reforms Commission on ethics in governance, observed corruption in the private sector does not come under the purview of the Prevention of Corruption Act. This is Government Commission's report, and it says, as the corporate sector is considered to be the engine of economic growth now in our country, and are providing several services to people which were being provided earlier by the government, it is important to amend the law to bring the corporate sector within the ambit of Prevention of Corruption Act. Now whether minister is prepared, your government is prepared, you keep talking too much about corruption, but when it comes to action, where is your action? We want to see. Sir, coming to other issues, these electoral reforms, there also I can quote Lal Bahadur Shastri.
That is another subject.
No, I am coming to end, sir. Don't press the bell.
I said that is another subject.
No.
You can speak.
No, electoral reforms.
That's a big subject.
No, I am not talking about electoral reforms.
This ministry, Election Commission of India, is also related to the Ministry of
I said this is a big subject, electoral reform. For that another discussion is needed.
No, I am not going.
He has already taken it.
I am not going into details.
Okay, yeah.
What I am trying to say, when Lal Bahadur Shastri was Prime Minister, he appointed a commission actually on corruption. But the point here is, while there is ceiling on expenditure incurred by individual candidates in elections, there is no ceiling on expenditure on political parties. That becomes source of corruption, that becomes source of use of black money, and our law is not adequate. That is where the law ministry must get its act
Okay.
together. Sir,
Now conclude.
there are now the several legislations such as whistleblowers bill, right of citizens for time-bound delivery of goods and services, and redressal of their grievances bill 2011 must be taken up without any delay. How long you can delay it? This is what the law ministry will have to address. Sir, finally, I should talk about judiciary,
A
sir.
lot of time you are taking.
No, this is what, only one point judiciary. There is wide perception that judiciary is very much mired in corruption. It is spilling danger to the justice delivery institution.
See-
I quote Dr.
No,
I-
listen.
This point
No,
I'll finish.
no, I am not allowing that statement. Listen. You can say there may be corrupt judges. You don't say the whole judiciary is corrupt.
No, I'm not
No,
saying,
you said that.
no, I'm not saying there is corruptions.
You said judiciary is mired in corruption, wide perception. No. I am telling you, even today, I have to say, even today, the ultimate hope of the citizen is judiciary. Judiciary, I am telling
Okay,
you.
I am
No. There are corrupt judges.
Okay.
That I agree. But
Okay, I amend this statement.
that's all right.
Yeah, there are problems of corruption.
Okay.
Okay. So it affects justice delivery institution. Sir, I quote K.R. Narayanan, the former president of India. He was vice president also. He was occupying that chair also. While inaugurating the Golden Jubilee celebrations of Supreme Court, he quoted British editor Mr. Richard Ingrams, who wrote an article entitled Rich Men's Law. In that article, he observed the law courts are no more considered as cathedrals, but as casinos, where things are decided on the throw of dice. We need to address this challenge by reforming judiciary.
Okay.
Here comes the question of
Okay, fine.
giving
That's all.
representation of socially oppressed classes, scheduled caste, scheduled tribe in judiciary.
Okay.
And you can call it
No, Sri
reservation,
Raju,
social representation
Okay.
to the
That's all.
oppressed classes.
Now,
Otherwise, there is
you have
bound
taken
to be
everybody's time.
severe crisis in our system of governance,
Okay.
sir. And
Sri Raju,
I am
Shukla.
talking in terms of
Okay.
good governance. If we have to ensure good governance, and we must
Raja is
do
not
this.
listening
Thank
to
you,
me.
sir.
Raja is not listening to me. What can I do?